I heard that the groom's older brother, Kevin, has only graduated from high school. To think that someone without a college degree would be part of our family. We come from a lineage that has produced prominent figures in various fields, and having someone uneducated like this among us is nothing short of disgraceful.
I felt more ashamed of being present in that situation than the harsh words that were spoken. Until now, I was content not being in the spotlight, but I had to acknowledge that it's probably how I appeared to others, as someone not standing out.
Danny, I'm counting on you to look after everyone.
My father said, calling me to his side alone. My father, who was at the peak of his career, fell ill with a rare disease despite being young and in love with 3 children. His condition progressed rapidly due to his youth, and he quickly lost his vitality after being hospitalized. "You're the only one I can ask this of," he said, his eyes welling up with tears. I held back my tears and nodded firmly. He roughly tousled my spiky hair and hugged me. His arms were as thin and fragile as tree branches. I think he knew his time was limited. That day was the last time I had a conversation with my father. From that day on, this Smith household consisted of my mother and 3 children. My mother, frail with illness, often pushed herself too hard for our sake. My brother Kevin, 2 years younger than me, and I often took care of the housework.
Bro, are you really not going to college because of us?
Kevin asked me as I was about to graduate from high school. I was taken aback by his direct question, but chose my words carefully to sound casual. "It's not because of you guys. Uncle told me he'd find me a good job. I want to start working and get out into the world as soon as I can," I answered with a smile, without looking at Kevin standing behind me. Truthfully, I like studying and wanted to continue my education, but I wanted to stabilize our life with our sick mother. I wanted Kevin and our sister Anna to have the opportunity to go to college and live a life without hardships. I was the only one who could make that happen.
You're different. You have good grades. You could even aim for T University.
He mentioned the name of a challenging local university. He felt helpless that his brother's future was being cut short because of him and his sister, a feeling he couldn't do anything about. I understood his feelings because I had been in the same situation. That's when I decided to work right after high school. I don't need to go to college. My goal is to make us all happy with what I earn. You'll have to study the things I can't, Kevin. Well, with your grades, maybe that's impossible, I joked, and Kevin looked down, his lips pursed. I thought he might cry, but after a pause, he answered without tears, "Got it," and started studying intensely from the next day. From being one of the lowest in the class in 3 months, he was in the top 10. On the day of the last high school test, I received my decent report card and left the school.
Hey,
I was surprised to see Kevin waiting for me at the front gate, holding out a paper. It was his end-of-term report card, showing he was first in all 5 subjects. I looked at him in astonishment, and he had a serious, yet slightly embarrassed expression.
I did what I could for now. I'll keep studying hard also for you, bro. So sorry. But I'm leaving the job part to you. After high school, I'll work too and help you.
Kevin said, bowing his head in gratitude. He suddenly seemed more grown up. I pictured him studying late into the night. If you can do something like this, do it regularly, bro. Seeing my brother Kevin working so hard, even while talking back, I know I have to do my part too. Working after high school graduation was tough, with many challenges and not everything going smoothly. Some unkind people as well as those who pitied our single mother family. Amid all the things I couldn't do, I somehow managed to find a job on my own, learning the ropes by closely watching others at work. Maybe seeing Kevin studying hard even when I came home late motivated me to keep up with him. He continued to be the top student in his grade. That's why it was hard to convince him to go to college instead of working like me. I work, and you study, Kevin. Study hard, go to a good school, and then help Anna with her studies. I want her to go to a good place too. I persuaded him and got him enrolled in a high school even more prestigious than a high school, the top in the county. By that time, Anna had started elementary school, and our mother, despite her instability, was managing to do some work, reducing the household burden. I hoped they could go not just to high school but to college too, to study whatever they wanted. So, I worked as much as I could to save money. That's why, when Kevin timidly asked during his sophomore year in high school if it would be all right for him to go to college, I responded, "Of course, you should." Challenge difficult universities without even attending cram school. Deciding not to attend any prep courses and not to apply to any private colleges as safeties. He wanted to get a full scholarship as the valedictorian. Kevin, who visited the library daily without fail and read a single college prep book until it was tattered, had an intense focus. We were all anxious until the results came out, and when we learned he was accepted, our family hugged each other in joy, especially for Kevin and me, since we both felt that each of our efforts had led to this achievement. It was even more gratifying than if it had been our own. When I first became a manager with just a high school diploma, Kevin got his dream job at a pharmaceutical research institute and left home to live in the company dormitory. He said to me, "I could push myself because of you, bro. Thank you. I'll keep working hard." Our father had died from a rare disease. Kevin's dream was to research and develop a treatment for it. A dream I shared with him before I gave up on further studies. And then, this fall, Kevin came back home to announce his engagement. He was marrying Lisa Miller, a girl who had visited our house once before. She was an only child who often exchanged emails with Anna, saying she envied having siblings. Just imagining her as my brother's wife made me feel somewhat shy. While listening to his news, he said, "I want you, bro, to give a speech at the wedding. I am what I am today because of you, and I'm proud of that." But hearing that the wedding would be in a prestigious hotel because of Lisa's family's social standing made me hesitant. Lisa, the daughter of a company president, would have relatives and guests of a certain caliber at her wedding. While it was fine for our mother, Anna, and me to attend as family, The idea of giving a speech felt daunting and possibly inappropriate. But it was my brother's big day, a once-in-a-lifetime event. And above all, I was touched that Kevin said he was proud of me. I decided to take on a significant role. On the wedding day, the weather was clear. It was a fresh autumn day with dazzling fall colors. I wore a formal suit, something I'm not used to, and headed to the wedding venue, extremely nervous. I kept stumbling over my words while talking to the taxi driver, and Anna teased me, saying, "The star today is Kevin, not you, Denny. Why are you more nervous?" My mother was already anxious before we even arrived at the venue. Anna, attending a wedding for the first time, wore a new orange chiffon dress. I got emotional thinking that she might be imagining Anna in a wedding dress someday, and had to distract myself by looking outside. In the family waiting room of the luxurious hotel, we were restless as we waited for the ceremony to begin. That's when a man approached me. My mother and Anna had just left the room to greet Lisa, so they weren't there.
I'm John Miller. Sorry for not meeting you at the pre-wedding gathering.
He said, offering his business card. I realized he was Lisa's father. I'm Danny, Kevin's brother. It's an honor to meet you. I blurted out, almost bumping my head in my haste. I hadn't met John before because he couldn't attend the pre-wedding gathering due to his busy schedule. The more I try to avoid any mistakes, the more anxious I become.
Kevin is such an excellent young man, graduating from T University. It's a relief for our family that he's marrying our daughter.
I felt like I was being praised alongside Kevin.
And you, big brother, are you married yet? You should marry soon. I can introduce you to someone. Which university did you attend?
I was taken aback as I hadn't been asked that recently. I'm a bit embarrassed to say, but I didn't go to college. I started working early to support my family after we lost our father. I took care of earning money while Kevin studied and Anna helped with housework. I explained. John's eyes narrowed briefly. I guess my impression isn't too good, but I can't lie either. I tried to recover the conversation by saying, I might not have done well myself, but my sister Anna has just been accepted into nursing college. Though the atmosphere didn't change much, he replied, "Your sister must be very talented too." He seemed like he wanted to say more, but someone called him, and he bowed his head and left. I hope my presence doesn't ruin Kevin's relationship with his future FIL. As I was thinking this, my mom and Anna returned. Watching them excitedly talk about Lisa's beauty and Kevin's handsomeness, I almost forgot about my worries. So, when John started his speech as the bride's father, looking intently in our direction, I felt no discomfort.
The Miller family has produced many distinguished individuals, with everyone typically graduating from prestigious universities. We've always wanted our daughter to marry someone like that, which is why we encouraged many arranged meetings, hoping she would continue the lineage of excellent genes.
He said. I sensed trouble brewing. As he focused solely on academic achievements, in introducing Kevin, he only mentioned, from the public high school known for its high university entrance rates. He went on to T University on his own, and now works at a national research institute. without touching on his character or personal stories. He talked about Lisa's education from kindergarten to a prestigious private university as well.
I was relieved that my daughter, Lisa, could marry such an outstanding young man as Kevin Smith. But
He gave me a spiteful look, and I had a bad feeling.
it seems that the groom, Kevin, has an older brother who only finished high school. To think that someone with just a high school education would be part of our family. As a family that produces leaders in various fields, having such an uneducated person is a disgrace to us. If I had known earlier, I would have stopped it. But it's too late now. It might be unpleasant for you all, but he's scheduled to give a speech next, so please bear with us. While he may not be able to marry, we hope for excellent children from Kevin and Lisa.
He concluded. I was named and felt like vanishing from embarrassment. I should have known better than to come to a wedding that was out of my league, and I felt depressed. I thought about asking someone else to give the speech, since there was still time, while my mom and Anna were visibly angry at the malice. That's when it happened.
Can you take back what you just said?
I looked up to see Kevin, in his tuxedo, holding the microphone. He was visibly angry, a vein throbbing on his temple.
I was able to pursue my studies because my brother worked hard for our family. To say that he's uneducated, please retract your statement and apologize.
Kevin said, his voice trembling with anger.
Our father died of a rare disease, and our dream as brothers was to research it. My brother was more talented than me, but he worked for our family. That's why I worked hard to fulfill our dream. When I got into college, I thought about attending a university closer to home and working part-time to help my brother. When he found out, he scolded me.
Kevin spoke assertively.
He asked if I didn't trust him, that my achievements were proof of his efforts. He told me not to worry about money, to do what I could to the fullest, to study and research wherever I wanted, because that was my role.
I remembered scolding him, telling him not to lower his university choices out of consideration for me.
The person I am today is because of my brother. If you won't apologize, I won't call you my FIL.
Kevin said, shaking with anger. Lisa then took the microphone from him, soothingly patting his back while glaring at her father.
Education, education, education. I've put up with it for so long, but I never thought it would come to this. Treating even your own daughter like a pawn. I've had enough. I'm sorry to show you this unsightly scene.
Lisa, still poised and beautifully dressed, offers an apology. The wedding venue was filled with murmurs of shock.
I thought I was doing a final act of filial piety by having a grand wedding for my family. But it was a mistake. To have such a person as a father is embarrassing. Though we've gathered you all here, we will cancel the wedding. Please enjoy the meal and then feel free to leave.
She firmly states her apology and then apologizes once more.
Have you all gone mad for a man who's just a high school graduate?
Her father rushes toward his apologizing daughter, pointing at me. I was shocked, but obviously so was John. Caught off guard,
Just to let you know,
Lisa began, facing her father.
the man you've been ridiculing, Danny Smith, is the next president of the major client company you have been struggling to secure a contract with.
She then turned to me with a smile, asking, "Right,
What? a high school graduate becoming a president.
John turned pale, looking at me in disbelief. I realized it when he handed me his business card earlier. He was the president of Miller Inc., a client of our company. In terms of our business relationship, we had the upper hand and could terminate the contract if necessary. Miller Inc. was at a delicate phase, reconsidering its transactions due to some unpleasant rumors. I kept silent, not wanting to spoil the happy occasion, which now seemed deceptive. The company I joined after high school, a small-town factory, saw a dramatic increase in sales after securing a patent for precision parts. We rebuilt the worn-down factory building, replaced all the machinery, and now had profits to spare. Though we produced small parts, the patent earned us favoritism from various companies. Miller Inc. probably wanted to secure a contract with us, but it's challenging for them because our company has strict trading conditions. I built my career steadily, working my way up from a high school graduate. When it came to the patent, it took years to convince the stubborn craftsmen and company executives, who initially wouldn't listen. It was me who handled all the tedious applications and formalities because they said they'd agree if I did everything. The truth is, we didn't want our technology copied, and this approach paid off. Our company, though small, accumulated wealth comparable to listed corporations. When the president retired, and I was nominated as the successor for my role in the patent, I thought about declining, but being recognized for my efforts felt genuinely good, so I accepted. Being treated as an outlier in a workplace filled with college graduates, I never felt inferior. Instead, I earnestly sought advice and studied diligently to acquire the necessary qualifications, which might have been one of the reasons why my superiors were fond of me. There were qualifications that I couldn't obtain with just a high school education. So I studied for the high school equivalency exam about 5 years ago. Kevin helped me by creating study guides.
If you had gone to college, you would have been even more elite.
People say, acknowledging my achievements. It's nice to hear, but a college-going version of me doesn't exist in this reality. The person I am today is because I didn't go to college. That's what makes me who I am now. The wedding turned into a big fuss and was eventually called off. Lisa declared, "I'm not going back home."
We're cutting ties with my father and planning a small wedding. Please attend, Danny.
She said. I apologized, feeling responsible for what happened, but both Lisa and Kevin shook their heads.
We owe you a lot, Danny. We'll help you with anything you want to do. Just ask.
Lisa asked me if there was anything I wanted. As a president, I feel lacking in education, so maybe I'll go to college now. Maybe I'll even find a girlfriend. I joked. John's comment about marriage and education had struck a nerve.
Leave that to me, Danny. What type of person do you like?
Lisa asked eagerly. She planned to use her extensive network as a company president's daughter, despite cutting ties with her family, reluctantly agreeing to meet someone Lisa introduced. I ended up hitting it off with a charming preschool teacher. Spending time with her was fun, and after several dates, we started dating. Regarding Miller Inc., Investigations were conducted to ensure rumors didn't remain just rumors. The final straw was when Lisa left her home and saw John involved in suspicious money dealings. It led to the decision to cease our contract with Miller, and soon after, their wrongdoings were exposed, and they went bankrupt. Despite losing everything and being unable to pay off their debts, when John came seeking help, I politely refused and blocked his calls. My girlfriend and I often talk about the future now. Marriage and children seem within reach.
You need to focus on your happiness after all the hard work.
She tells me, just imagining having a family of my own brings a smile to my face, much to her amusement.